What's up guys, Brian here with BPS Customs, and today on the channel we're going to be taking a look at the Aero ITX version of the RX 550 offered by MSI. Now we're going to be doing this a little bit differently than I do most graphics card reviews. You're not going to see any graphs or sexy B-roll of the card, although I will give you this. What we're going to be doing instead is putting this card on our test bench and playing some games. We're going to be playing the games that AMD is targeting squarely with this release, and that's esports titles. So we're going to be playing some CSGO, we're going to be playing some Dota 2, some Rocket League, and some Overwatch. Let's go. Alright, so I want to point out that even though this is not necessarily the kind of card that you might buy because you're power hungry and you really want to overclock it, that's not to say that there is no headroom here to overclock. The base clock of this RX 550 is 1203 megahertz. Now, I've been playing around a little bit in the MSI Afterburner software, and I've gotten some really encouraging results out of this. Granted, the amount that you're going to be able to push and overclock is not necessarily going to translate into what you might think as an enormous boost in frame rates, but it does get you some. And as long as you have the card, there's no reason to not take advantage of free performance. So let's try to push an overclock on this card. Alright, so as you guys can see, I have Heaven running in the background here. This is just on a loop. And I have MSI Afterburner up right here. So the first thing we're going to do is go in and enable a user-defined fan curve. This is going to help keep temperatures down because the fan will ramp with this curve as opposed to just staying static at 40%. And hit OK there. Then we're going to jack this power limit up as high as it'll go. The temperature limit is already up at 93, which is actually much higher than I thought it might be. But you could see on these lower end cards, despite the fact that I have unlock voltage control checked, the core voltage is not something that we can mess with. So what I'm going to do is dial in an overclock here that I have had success with in previous trials, and hopefully we have no issues. Well, it looks okay to me. So you can see right up here that it shows you that indeed we are running at 1375 megahertz now with a memory effective clock of 2000 megahertz. And the frame rates are, I mean, granted these are at very low resolutions, but the frame rates did bump up a little bit. Why don't we take Heaven and put it into full screen mode, and hopefully we don't get any crashes. Yeah, it's a little jerky. This card, I think the 2 gigs of VRAM is really hindering it here. But you know, while it's not running smoothly, it's not crashing. So this certainly appears to be stable, at least for now. And I don't think that any game that we're going to be playing today is nearly as taxing as this benchmark. So let's run with this setting as is. Minimize this, get rid of that, and here are our 4 esports titles. Now, AMD actually asked me to test this against an iGPU. The one that I have right now on my test bench would be the Intel HD 630, I think, is the one that is in the 7700K. If we have time here, I'll definitely do that. But I think the main focus of this testing is going to be what kind of frame rates can you guys expect from esports titles from a $79 RX 550 video card. Now granted, this MSI version is a little more expensive, but they all contain the same Polaris chip. They're all going to give you approximately the same performance. So even if you buy the lowest end card, maybe you won't get the overclock that I'm able to achieve here, but hopefully your performance will be similar. So let's go dive right into the first game. We're going to run Overwatch. Okay, so we can see my Blizzard generated generic Happy Feet tag, and we're going to go into the options. We're running at 1920 by 1080. This is 1080p with VSync off, and let's see, graphics quality ultra. I think we're going to stay away from Epic. Let's leave it on Ultra. Ultra seems pretty good. So we're going to go and play a play versus AI, just to make it easy. I don't have to worry about finding a game. And I'll be honest with you guys, I've never played Overwatch before. The first time I played it was, I don't know, 10 minutes ago when I booted this up to test it to make sure everything was loaded correctly. So I'm not going to be a pro, but hopefully I can demonstrate for you guys what kind of frame rates we're going to expect. Alright, so it actually took me a little bit of time here to find a game. It took almost like 3 minutes. But just taking a look at the frame rate right now, I mean, granted there's nothing going on the screen, but we're at 56 frames per second, and that seems to be pretty good. So hopefully that holds up when we get in and there's some action, some explosions, and some longer draw distances. And we've actually increased our frame rate. We're in the 80s right now. That's really good. I'm actually pleasantly surprised with the performance of this card. I mean, just in the first title at least. So I know that there's a long way to go here, a lot of titles to test, but as far as esports titles, I think this is actually probably the most demanding game that we're going to test today. So, is this guy shooting at me? I am on your team. Oh, what's this guy? Okay. So yeah, we're in the 70s. I don't see any dips so far. Granted, not a lot of explosions or anything, but it seems to be pretty good. These people probably know how to play Overwatch and are going to get really mad at me when I don't know how to play Overwatch. And well, it's not all bad so far. But yeah, we're maintaining a really good frame rate here. This looks really good so far, and hey man, don't do that. Oh, sorry man. So I guess I should quit out of here, huh? And I'm dead. Alright, so, yeah, mid-high 70s on ultra settings, 1080p. That's great. Alright, let's move on to the next game and see what kind of frame rates we get out of Rocket League. How about we'll go Rocket League next. Alright, we've loaded up Rocket League. Let's get into our options and just verify our settings. We are running a 1080p, texture detail high, world detail high. Everything turned on. So, what kind of frame rates are we getting? Let's play, let's just do a training. I don't know. Free play. Baseland. Alright, that's cool. Alright. Wow. We're over 100 frames per second in Rocket League. And that is going to go way over the goal. Maybe it'll bounce back and I'll score in the other goal. But let me actually just propel up on the wall here so we can get some action going on. Yeah, 120, 130 frames per second, and I scored. All right. Rocket League is cool. No, actually, Rocket League is a lot of fun. But I just didn't want to get involved in a game. All right, so I'm running around the edge here just so we could get like a longer draw distance. So it's not just drawing the stadium; it's actually drawing like the world. And you can see that we're maintaining over 100 frames per second. It dips down to like 90 every once in a while, but if this is the game that you play the most, this card seems to be really good at it. And I mean, I haven't done the iGPU testing yet, but I can't imagine the Intel integrated graphics are gonna play this anywhere near this kind of frame rate. And for, you know, $79 or $80 or $90 or whatever this card ends up being, I don't know, this seems to be pretty good deal so far. Woo! Let me go kick the ball once. Ah, I'm the worst. Okay, I think that's enough Rocket League. Yeah, we're over 100 frames per second here, so I'm jumping for joy. Alright, so we've loaded up Dota 2. I've started a bot match just because it's a lot easier than going online. And this, again, is a game that I've never played, so I don't want to anger, I don't know, professional Dota 2 players. But let's take a look at the settings we're running at. Once again, 1080p, best looking. These are the max settings, I think, from everything that I could find here. So just running around the map, I mean, we're in the mid-80s, which is a little bit higher, I suppose, than Overwatch was, but not a whole lot. So I guess this might be on the same level of demanding graphics task. What? What are you meowing about? I'm trying to do a video. I know. Life is hard as a cat. Is that somebody I should kill? Ooh, kill him. Get him. Get him. Do I just stand here and take a beating? I'm not really sure. Guys, he's beating me. Please don't die. Anyway, let's look at our frame rate. We are, he's running away. Get him. Go get him. Go get him. Catch him. He's going to lure me into a trap. He's definitely luring me into a trap. Anyway, so yeah, we're in the, I mean, anywhere ranging from like the high 60s to the, it looks like 90s right now, which seems, oh, I'll get those guys too. No, these guys are going to kill me for sure, and I'm dead. So Dota 2 runs pretty well. Once again, another esports title that this card seems to have a really good grip over. You know, mid 60s to 90 frames per second. Seems pretty good to me. Alright, let's move on to our last title. The most popular game in the world, CSGO. Alright, so we've loaded up CSGO. Let's see if we could just check out some of our video settings real quick. Obviously still running at 1080p. Things are on high. Things are looking good. Alright, so let's run around this world. And try to find a different gun, because having this little pea shooter is pretty embarrassing, and I'm sure the terrorists are gonna win if this is all I got. Oh, I got a knife. I'm gonna kill uh-oh. I'm gonna kill somebody with a knife. Bomb has been planted. Alright, well, let's go find the bomb, guys. But I'm just gonna go knife this guy. Come here. Come here. Well, that didn't really work out. But look at the frame rates we were getting. The frame rates during in-game were over 100 frames per second, and this is like the fastest paced shooter and the most fast twitch of all the fast twitch games. And I mean, unless you are, you know, I guess a professional who would need a faster frame rate than this, I mean, if this is all you're playing, same thing with the other games. This card is running this really well. Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey. I am terrible at this game. Anyway, I think you guys could see that the frame rates that we're getting in these games is really impressive. And just going to do a real quick comparison against the Intel iGPU. Alright, so we've loaded up CSGO again on the same map on the Intel iGPU. Let's go to options, just verify the settings once more. We're at 1920 by 1080. None of these settings have changed. We're still with the counter-terrorists, and we're running around at 32 frames, 30 frames per second. I mean, not really a playable frame rate for, I don't know, for almost any game, but especially a game like this. Wow, that guy shot me in the face. But especially a game like this, where you need as fast movement and as fast refresh as possible. This is just not, and I'm dead. 30 frames per second is clearly just not going to cut it. And I would imagine the results are going to be similar if you were to try that experiment with the other games. I mean, the Intel HD graphics are fine if you're not gaming. I think they're more than fine if you're not gaming, if you're just running Chrome or doing whatever you're doing. But as soon as you boot up any game, they're not going to really be sufficient. Even if it's an older game like CSGO, which came out, I don't remember, 2012 or something. So, yeah, I mean, if you're looking to upgrade your card and not spend a lot of money, and your aim is to play esports games, it looks like the 550 is actually a really good option. So that's something to consider. So thanks for watching this video, guys. As always, leave a comment down below if you think the 550 is a reasonable choice for esports gamers, if you're interested in it at all, or if you're not. Let me know why. See you next time, and thanks for watching.